Yes. Thanks for being here tonight. So I'm Taradash. I made my husband drive all the way from Woonsocket. That's how much I wanted to be here. Yes. Yes. We used to live in Tiverton, and we both grew up in Rhode Island. But I know these are like far off places from here. So if you ever go there, it's safe. There's food for you. There's cohogs. Okay, like if you wanted to go to those beaches, it's there. So like it's just very abundant, okay? So trust and believe, you can eat anywhere in the state. You can also drive anywhere in the state in about an hour. Yeah. The frustrating thing about growing up in Tiverton is you're actually also an hour from Newport, even though you can like look and wave. You can like look over there and like, Newport's right there, but like there's no boat really to get you there. Like that's the only way. We skipped on bridges. We skipped on bridges. I don't know if you remember, I think actually it's still under construction. I went to school in Providence. My mother was like my bus driver. And she would drive us every day, back and forth, twice, from Tiverton to Providence. Again, very committed drivers in my family. I married them, and I come from them. And I gotta tell you, the Henderson Bridge has been under construction for my entire life. Does anybody know it? I really liked when Gina started putting those signs up where it was like accountability, right? Like, okay, we started here and it cost this much and like we're behind schedule. You know, at least she was honest, right? And some actually got done, which was really remarkable. So I know we talked a little about the pandemic, but we're gonna talk a little more about it, okay? We moved into our house in Woonsocket February 28th. 2020. Slid right in just in time for the bunker. There's a lot of baseball references that someone can explain to me after the show. But you know, we were all just like so panicked then, right? Like we were like scared little gremlins in our house is like, don't get water on us, ah! You know, and now we're like also scared gremlins, but like in public. Yeah, like still a little like, hey, is it okay? Great. Are we taking an Uber? I don't know. And we were so unscrupulous when we moved. We just like grabbed everything, you know, like people were grabbing toilet paper and like people were grabbing all this stuff. And I discovered very recently when we needed to do the purge of our pantry, which is not where you keep toilet paper. We moved with a can of, what was it?
Corned beef hash.
Thank you. Corned beef hash that was very old, very expired, not like 2 years expired, like it's going to first grade. And you know, I don't even know if corned beef hash ever actually does expire, but I think would help you with the Johnson & Johnson shot. I think it might be the third booster that you need. We'll never know though because Joe did throw it out, so we'll just have to wing it on that one. Anyway, we spent a lot of time going through the Netflix catalog. You know, who else has gotten to the end of Netflix? Have we watched every single thing? We watched Gremlins, which I love, and then they were like, you might like Critters too. I was like, Critters? What's this? Is this like Furbies? No. Critters was a horror movie franchise that came out around the same time as Gremlins, which I never saw because I was very small when it came out. But Critters 3 had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It was his first movie. It went straight to VHS, but still, he was great. Perfect. And my favorite thing about it is every Critters movie, the critters are like super evil. Like, there's nothing redeeming about them. They're not like cats. Like, they have spikes, they're furry, they shoot poison. Like, cats would shoot poison if they could, but like, they just can't. Yet. Yeah, they're working on it. We have two, so we know. Anyway, I howled through every single one of these movies. Like, it's old enough now that it's funny. Just like corned beef hash is old enough and then it's, you know, good for what ails you. And I highly recommend it. Angela Bassett was in the fourth one. Yeah, and then it's really masterfully done. So like you have these little like creatures that are totally like Rambo on acid. They're super fuzzy and they're super evil and they're biting people and they're eating their guts and you're like, wow, this is so great. It's so much more grounded than what's happening outside right now in COVID-19. Isn't this hilarious? All of a sudden, there's a dream ballet in the middle of it. Do people know what a dream ballet is? No? Okay, I did a lot of musical theater, so forgive me. Go with me here. Musical theater, if you don't like it, you will hate dream ballets, okay? Because it's even more musical theater, except without speaking. So they like tell the story with just movement, except it's critters, and so they're very naughty. And so they're like naughty puppets that are like, ah! And they're having so much fun, but they're being really bad. So they're like eating flour. Don't eat flour, critters. That's how you die. No, nothing kills them. One of them guzzles an entire container of dish soap. Like Jabba the Hutt style. And then sweetly burps bubbles afterwards. Like, and then they go back to killing people. It was just like a little interlude. Just a little interlude. I just got back from Provincetown, actually. Not Providence. Provincetown. Yeah, it's out on the Cape. You just got to drive a little bit further, just a little bit, in like 2 more hours. So like 2 more Rhode Islands worth of driving. I do a concert there every year, and it brought back a lot of memories. So I first was out there. I used to be a costume designer. And I was out there in 2006, and I started working for a drag queen who did a Phyllis Diller act. But I didn't know who Phyllis Diller was at the time. And it was the dark days before YouTube, where you could really like look up and be like, oh, I get it, cool, I can connect the history of comedians. So this drag queen was like, well, why don't you come up to my apartment? Because you need to know who Phyllis Diller is. I mean, you can't make this costume if you don't know who Phyllis Diller is. And I was like, okay. So we go up, he's got this like huge big screen TV and he like puts in the videotape and pushes play. Well, it wasn't Phyllis Diller. And he pushes stop and then he turns to me and goes, oops. I'm Emily Taradash, thank you so much.